for the most part. And you see, that was the second time I got crabs.
Zach, we're live.
All right, we need to handle our scheduling a little tighter, I feel.
I feel like it's more fun this way, actually.
I think if people knew exactly how much of a clusterfuck getting this show ready is every week, they'd be amazed.
I think people would love to see the behind the scenes, but I don't think they're ready for that. I really don't.
I was about to say, I don't think we would love for them to see the behind the scenes. I mean, shit.
Yeah, exactly. But for everyone who's just now tuning in, my name is Cody, and this is the Criminally Mental Podcast.
And I am more famous than Cody still, Zach Galloway. And here to introduce our show is the friend of our show, the host of the VT Network, Deadman.
Welcome to the Criminally Mental Podcast, where we talk about mental health and the criminal justice system, with your two hosts, Cody Green and Zach Galloway, currently both on parole and compassionate release. Now, here's the show.
Just want to do a quick plug for him. If you're a fan of Deadman, check out his OnlyFans page at The Deep Voice Does Real. And he's got a $5 submission or subscription this month, so check him out.
You know what's messed up is I don't even know if you're joking. That's a joke, right?
I mean, the last time I was joking about something, it turned out to be true with him. So I'm like testing to see if I'm prophetic.
Oh, okay.
You know, like right. I'm feeling maybe like we're interlocked somehow, and I just know more than I do. But
well, okay, I guess we'll find out if that is true. But seriously, shout out to him. I love listening to that. I'm going to talk about his voice this week. So I had a follower who reached out, and they're like, "Who does your podcast audio?" And I literally said, "Oh, that's Morgan Freeman playing God, actually."
Almost, jeez. He's got like the funny thing about Deadman is he's actually like fairly accomplished, voice acting. He's done quite a bit for that, and I kind of forget that because he's just our friend, you know.
Yeah.
And it just makes me realize that we kind of roped in this voice actor to just do the voice for the show.
Yeah, But again, shout out to him and a big thank you for that. We do appreciate it. You the real MVP.
Absolutely. So Cody, big news today, right?
Yeah, the big news is, as you can tell by Zach's username, he is still more famous than me, but I did hit 1 million followers today.
Woo!
And the crowd goes wild.
That's awesome, man. It only took you, what, like 5 months to go up that last 10?
Yeah. Thanks for that. No, but like seriously, I grew like 100,000 every week for 5 weeks, and then I hit 900,000, and it took like 2 months. But we made it. It was a long journey, but I am super excited. You know me, I'm a big baby, so I went on a TikTok live and cried earlier. Like
I saw that. That was. Why are you the way you are?
I have so many emotions, Zach.
I suppose. So how does it, like, honestly, you've been doing this for a minute. I feel I've always liked your work. Before we were even friends, before we worked together, I was a fan. Looking back on how far you've come so quick, any advice for people trying to get into being a creator, maybe specifically in our field in mental health or like prison TikTok? Do you have any pointers for people now that you're one of the established?
Yeah, now that I am a professional, I would say that my advice would probably be the same you would give. Actually make content. That's where everyone goes wrong. They're like, I want to do this, but they don't put out any content. You can't become successful if you don't try. No one's 100% like confident putting themselves out there.
I am.
All of us. Yeah, shut up, Zach. Every day. Even Zach has his doubts. He won't tell you that, but even he does.
No, that's true. There's many times where I've had to send Cody a text saying, "Is this okay?" And Lord knows I have to ask Eddie all the time. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's putting out content and then really finding like what you want to be a part of. So like for us, it was mental health and prison TikTok, but I think you kind of fall into your own category. Like I never intended to be a mental health creator. And that's the big part of my life. That's what I enjoy talking about. And that's what I enjoy building awareness about. So it was really cool that I got this platform to work on. So
I mean, you grew really fast, like a lot of people, but yours, like, man, I remember you were at like 400,000 for so long. And then over the course of what seemed like a month, you went up to like 700, 800 real quick.
Yeah, it was I was stuck around 300,000. And then I had a pretty viral video of me talking to one of my hallucinations that I caught on camera. And I went it was a month and a week, like 5 weeks. I went from 300,000 to 800,000, like just clockwork.
So let me ask you a question. It's kind of a weird question, but do you ever get that, like, when you upload a video, it goes viral, you know, you're looking at hundreds of thousands, millions of views, whatever. Do you ever get that, like, anxiety feeling of like, oh shit, how do I top that?
Yeah. And for me, it's inevitable because almost all of my viral videos are unintentional because they're me having symptoms. And so it sucks for me because I can't just create something that good. Like, it just happens. That's how my content works. And so I think that makes it easier on me because I'm not seeking that next viral video. Like, because I know it's probably going to happen when I have another episode, and I'm not pushing for another episode.
No, let's not do that.
I think I'm lucky in that sense where, like, most of my viral videos are me having episodes. So yes, of course I want to become a bigger creator, but I'm not going to like stop taking my meds or do something that could potentially cause me to go into a series of episodes. You know, I'm just kind of waiting for, you know, an episode to happen. It is nice now I got my video camera in my office so I can record all my, you know, symptoms.
I've seen that new content with the new camera. It looks clean. It looks nice.
Yeah. And I love doing that because, like, there's no pressure on my end to, like, back when I was starting recording my symptoms, what was happening was I would recognize I was having symptoms and I would pull my phone out and record myself.
Right.
And that built up a lot of anxiety, and I'm kind of glad that I'm not doing that anymore. Because now when I realize I'm having an episode, I'll still use my phone to see if something's not there, but I don't post it and rely on idiots on TikTok to tell me, no offense, most of the people are amazing. They're going to be like, no, nothing's there, you're good. But you got that 1 or 2% of trolls that are going to, and that's all it took that one day when I had that viral video that you duetted,
Right.
where someone triggered me, and it was because I uploaded it and that was the first comment that came up. And so right away it sent me into a worse spiral than I was already in.
I can't even imagine first of all, I can't imagine having schizophrenia, but being in any sort of emotional state like that during an actual crisis, an event, and having the ability to pull out your phone and record yourself. I don't think anybody would even fucking try to do that. So,
yeah. Well, and that was all like after I started antipsychotics, I started having the ability to recognize that something was a little bit off. Because, you know, everyone always asks, why wouldn't you notice that there's someone in your house that isn't supposed to be there? And right. The thing is, when you're hallucinating, you're usually also pretty delusional. I believe every hallucination comes with a bit of delusion, or else it just would never make sense.
Right.
And so when I'm having those hallucinations, it's just the fact that my medication allowed me to even have a couple seconds of realization where I'm like, hey, that doesn't seem right. And then I would pull out my phone just to verify. So it was really medication was the reason I was able to even become slightly understanding of my symptoms. They're like slightly even suspicious of symptoms while I'm having them.
That makes sense because your content did change. As any creator's content is going to change and fluctuate over time as we grow and we get better at this and that sort of thing. And it definitely has I remember when I first saw you, you were doing a lot more like schizophrenic story times, which is awesome. You know, I love them. I still love them. And they were obviously meant to educate people. And I feel like now you've definitely gotten a hold of being able to attract people with posting videos of your symptoms and sharing that, but then also keeping them around to educate them about, you know, both schizophrenia and just mental health in general. So I have noticed that with you, and it's been impressive. So good job with that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you noticing that because there's another aspect of my social media that I don't like talk about a lot, but it was when I started incorporating me joking about schizophrenia and posting like all my jokes, because that that brought in a whole different crowd of people who were like, okay with making a joke about it, but they didn't understand what it was. And so I got to educate on a much bigger scale, even though at first it was a little uncomfy for me because I started getting hate comments from some of the people who supported me, when I first started off, and my content used to be 100% serious,
Right.
But I mean, you get it. You want to laugh at yourself, and it's easy for you. There's so much to laugh at. But for me, I had to pick and choose a few things,
Well, you had to kind of learn to be entertaining. And it is a curve, but you're getting there, to say the least. Hey,
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are undeservedly famous, Colin Ray, he hit 1 million likes today.
He hit 100 million likes, but yeah,
100 million likes.
Yeah, which is crazy. I did just see that today. That's awesome. Shout out to our buddy Colin. Was he our second guest on the show?
Second guest on the show.
Yep. Yeah. And he is so awesome. I don't give him as hard of a time as Zach always does, but really awesome content creator, really good prison TikToker. And he's been doing a lot more of that, bringing like the comedy. I don't know if you've been seeing all of his videos about the prison showers and everything, but he's been doing a lot of like those. He's doing those intentionally grabbing the trolls type videos.
Right. He's baiting people. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. But it's working for him. I couldn't do it. I would get so annoyed.
The thing about Colin is he has that personality out there. If you're trying to be a creator or you are a creator, you need to understand that if you want to respond to troll comments, be sure that you have that personality type that like Colin Ray has. That over aggressive, just in your face response, because he's made that content for him.
Yeah.
He's turned his hate into a literal payday. So just take notes from that.
No, and for sure. And I think I think all creators try to do that once in a while. Like I've taken hate comments and tried to be like, more edgy about it, but I end up pulling them down because I'm like, there's backlash that comes with that, especially if you're like someone who does try to do more positive content. And overall, Colin's content is supposed to be more about reform and, not necessarily recovery, but like changing when you get out, which is like he promotes that in a different way, but he still does it. Yeah,
he definitely has tried to alter his brand a bit because he started off like most of us, having no idea what they were doing. And, eventually want to grow and maybe get out of that niche. But anyway, he hit 100 million. So shout out to you, Colin. Fun fact about Colin Ray.
Oh, God.
He is the only guest of our show who managed to cuss out and threaten someone on another show during our show.
Yeah, he had someone. Well, that goes back to him talking about the hate comments. He got one in alive. And during our podcast, he felt the need to talk to that person right then and there. So if you want to listen to that, we do not edit any audio. It is still on the 3rd episode of our podcast. Go check it out.
The best part about that is I think we were so new at doing this that neither one of us really knew how to react to it. So we just kind of awkwardly let him finish cussing someone out. Oh, sorry about that, boys. I'm back.
Yeah. Well, and the best part was our podcast was still so new that none of our followers even really said anything about it. Like, I think me and you noticed it way more than anyone else. And I feel like we did have a lot of Colin's followers in that day. So I think maybe they just kind of knew that's how he was and rolled with it.
Well, if it was Colin's followers, we can assume they were all 12-year-old boys. So we're golden.
Yeah, for sure. We could talk also a little bit about someone who is no longer on TikTok. Zach, would you like to do the honors?
Absolutely. So as most of you guys know, we've talked about Eric B. Zink on 2 episodes so far. And that was pretty much all the time we were willing to give this particular individual. He was a creator on TikTok. He still is on YouTube. And he was pretending to be a mental health advocate. That was his whole thing. That he was there to support people with recovery, with depression, and he got caught grooming kids and sending explicit sexual texts to underage girls. And as of today, bam, he left TikTok.
And I hit 1 million today, but I don't know what I'm more excited about, hitting 1 million or Eric B. Zink finally getting the fuck off TikTok. Because my biggest beef about this is there are tons of people on TikTok who are popular creators taking advantage of younger people. My problem with him was he had such a large, vulnerable community. When you advertise yourself as a mental health advocate, you put yourself in the eyes of people who are sometimes at the worst point of their lives. I know that because I'm a mental health advocate, and if you went through my Instagram DMs or my emails, you would see I have some of the most vulnerable people reaching out to me. And to take advantage of that, to me, was the sickest thing ever. And so I couldn't be more happy that he's gone. Let's just hope he doesn't come back.
Well, it is something that I feel like we need to continue to be vigilant about. And everyone listening, this guy still has a YouTube.
Yeah.
He's still active on social media websites. And this is not a topic that any of us have the luxury of not being involved with.
Yeah.
This is somebody who attempted and successfully groomed and additional things with other women, so bad to the point that we still have people reaching out to us who were victims of this man. And as we know, the authorities are involved. So hopefully we'll see some work done on that end and actually get this guy to be out of our society entirely. We don't just want him off social media.
Yeah. And we also mentioned the last time we talked about Eric that this isn't the end of this conversation. Eric is not the only problem when it comes to people taking advantage of minors on TikTok. Of course, we have Tony Lopez, we have Zoe Laverne, we have some really big names who are known, who have admitted or been caught doing inappropriate things as grooming and, sexual assault towards minors. And
the craziest part about that, man, is there are a couple of them who it's not even allegations anymore.
Yeah.
Who straight up said, oh yeah, this is what happened, and they give some like half-ass apology, but they straight up admit it.
Yeah.
And it's still here.
Yeah. And this conversation isn't over. We are not dropping this. Be ready to hear about it again, just not with Eric. So this conversation will continue. I actually next week, I don't know if we'll get him by next week, but I wanted to bring on the guy who worked in the child division of, remember I was talking to you about this guy. His specific job with the police was apprehending pedophiles, basically.
Oh, right. Sorry, I wasn't listening when you talked. So
I'm pretty used to that. So
you should be at this stage. That's for true.
But yeah, hopefully we can have him on next week. I don't have his username in front of me, but I'm gonna try to get him on next week. So
we got a lot of we also have a lot of audition tapes to go through. We've been getting some really good ones. So I mean, look for we don't have seasons on podcasts, but this upcoming season of interviews is going to be pretty good. I'm excited for it.
So funny thing, Zach, we do have seasons on podcasts.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So when I organize, right now we're on episode 18 of season 1. I just haven't decided how long our seasons are.
18 episodes? What are we, fucking Orange is the New Black? I mean...
That's pretty great. I mean, maybe 20, maybe next episode we'll call it good and start season 2. What do you think?
Okay, yeah.
Wing it?
I mean, sure, why not?
I was going to ask you about that at some point, but I've just been posting it and
I never would have thought they had seasons. So, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah. So
can we have a season rap party?
Yes, we should. You know what would have been perfect, actually? We should have made the episode before my break from TikTok the in between seasons.
Oh, because then you'd leave people on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're a basic bitch.
But yeah, seriously, thank you guys all for continuously supporting the podcast. We still get so many views and streams, and we do really appreciate it. We do have, I showed you this last week, Zach, but I'm going to be sending Zach some of these as well. I haven't decided how we're going to distribute or sell these yet, but we do have some Criminally Mental Podcast stickers now. These are awesome 4x4 stickers. Our plan is to sell them, but we just haven't figured out the logistics of it yet because I just bought them flat out. So I don't know if we want to we'll have to figure it out. I figured I'd just send you half and then we'd figure out the logistics of how to sell them.
Okay. Counter offer.
Oh, here we go.
Guerrilla marketing.
What?
I don't know. I heard that word the other day. What does that mean?
I don't know.
You don't?
No.
Oh. Could you Google it?
Not in the middle of our show.
Oh, shit. The show.
The show that we're currently on right now.
Sometimes I forget we're not on like, a Facebook call.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. I know you call me late at night on Facebook just to see how I'm doing, but that's not one of these calls.
That was one time I told you, and I had eaten the brownie that wasn't just a brownie, so I don't want to expect it.
All right. Well, but yes, we do have these stickers. We're going to start marketing those soon. And don't forget, we do have a merch store too. So that's always in the links in our bio. Zach, is it in your bio? I don't even know anymore.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. I have done that. That was the thing.
Okay. That doesn't sound super confident, but
and guys, make sure if when you do borrow merch, please make a video of you in it. Like, we love seeing those on TikToks. We get tagged in people who get our merch and they make the video of them wearing it and that sort of thing. It's just fun for us to see. So please let us know.
And chances are, if we see it, we're going to interact with it because that's huge to us. Oh, and I guess someone put the comment of what guerrilla marketing is in our chat here.
Guerrilla marketing is an advertisement strategy in which a company uses surprise and or unconventional interactions in order to promote a product or service. Ooh.
Unconventional interaction. You know what? That probably is going to be how we sell.
Did I accidentally say something relevant to the vein of conversation?
Did you actually say something that not only made sense, but worked perfectly? Unintentionally? That's fucked up.
Wow, man. I need to stop smoking. I would put this down. That is anyway.
So much to the point where you're like, it's done a full loop now. You're coming back around the other end.
Yikes. That's good to know, though.
Yeah. So we did have a plan for today. We were supposed to have Burner on today. We had to reschedule with him. He will be on at some point. But today we are going to do 2 truths and a lie. And I think, Zach, you decided on a punishment for this. Correct?
Absolutely. Okay, so I want you to know that I'm going to make this as terrible as I can for you.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.
All right.
I say the loser of 2 truths and a lie for tonight has to wear an outfit of the winner's choosing and then go stand in the middle of a busy intersection, like on the sidewalk, with a sign that says something of the winner's choosing. And that person, the loser, doesn't know what's on the sign until the day of doing it. And it has to be filmed, has to be put on TikTok. We'll put it on YouTube.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, that seems pretty fair. I haven't had the best of luck at these yet. We've had one tie, and then you've won one. So this might be my week.
Cody, it's not luck. You're just bad.
No, but here's the thing. I will agree to it on one condition.
What's that?
This week's 2 Truths and a Lie is going to be mental health edition.
Lame.
I feel like that gives me a little bit of an edge.
All right. I agree to this. That's
okay.
Fine. Those are the terms. I agree.
All right. So just so everyone understands the terms, we're going to do 2 truths and a lie. Basically what will happen is we're both going to tell each other 3 stories. 2 of them will be true. 1 of them will be a lie. We both have to guess at the very end which one was false. And if we get it wrong, the other person is going to choose something for us to put on a sign and stand on a street corner.
We're talking like a big sign.
Yeah,
like if you see like homeless people, give me $1 sort of things. That sort of situation, wearing what the winner decides, and they won't know what's on the sign until they do that day.
You know what I'm gonna put on yours?
You're not gonna put anything on mine because I'm not gonna lose.
I'm gonna put "Gay Jews for Trump" on yours.
I live in Norfolk. You know that, right?
Come on, that's funny. That's priceless.
I know exactly what I'm putting on yours, and I'm not telling anybody here because it's going to be a surprise when you do.
Okay, all right. That's probably not actually what I would put on yours, but you got to admit it's pretty funny.
That would be pretty decent. I'll give you that. All right. So
do you want to tell the first story, or should I?
I'll take it because I'm sure you need time to boot that Windows 95 brain of yours up.
Windows 95. That's generous, I think.
Yeah, I was being nice. You just hit 1 million. Okay. So once I was hospitalized in a psych hospital on a 72-hour hold because they thought I had gone, I was, endangered myself and others, obviously. But it turns out that I was just on PCP the night before. And when I was in the 72-hour hold, I'd come down and everything like that. It had gotten out of my system. But on the third day, they claimed I assaulted one of the staff members, but I did. It was literally like a misunderstanding. And they actually put me in there for 2 months after that. So one of the only times I've done PCP, I ended up in a psych hospital for about 2 months.
Okay. And you're saying they extended your stay because you assaulted. Yeah. Okay. All right. Plausible. Is there, so I got to save questions for the end. I have so many questions already. So I guess my first one would be, this is tough because I know you're a fangirl of me and you've probably seen most of my content.
I avoid your content like the drunk chick at a party.
I don't think that came out the way you meant it to.
Oof, yeah.
So I guess my first story will be when me and Allison, like you already know that my
Cody.
Yeah.
Allison and I.
We've
been over this, dog.
Fine.
My grandma listens to this and she's very particular about your fucking grammar. So please,
She's particular about my grammar and not the things I say.
No, grammar is important.
Okay, sorry. Let me start over.
Jesus.
Allison and I were living together when I started having my first symptoms. And as you know, my symptoms were part of the reason that I had a car accident. What you might not have known, and we don't talk about a lot, is after the car accident, Allison moved out of the house we were living in together and moved back in with her dad. So during this time, she didn't know I was going through a psychotic break, and we moved back together shortly after. But there was a few months where I was living alone, and I actually tried to enlist in the National Guard while suffering from my schizophrenic break because one of my hallucinations convinced me I already knew my charges didn't come for my accident until about 6 months after. One of my hallucinations convinced me that if I got into the National Guard, they would wipe away my charges. Because I knew there was charges coming because I was impaired while driving, but it took them a while to process it. So I didn't get my papers until about 6 months after my accident.
So your hallucinations can actually scheme on your life and shit like that?
My hallucinations have even told me helpful things before, actually. Yeah. I don't tell a lot of those stories because then people romanticize the schizophrenia.
Yeah, I don't feel that would cast everything in a good light.
But yeah, so one of my hallucinations tried to convince me to join the National Guard. And a week before I was supposed to leave for MEPS, which is the pre-basic training where you they see what level you're on.
Yeah, military interesting processing.
Yeah. So a week before I was supposed to leave for that is when I got served with my paperwork for my criminal record. And so I was actually getting ready to leave for MEPS, and my recruiter called me and said, "Hey, why does it show you have 10 felony charges?" And that day they brought me the paperwork for it. So.
Yikes. I mean, half decent idea for your hallucination, though. Got to give them that.
Yeah. And I honestly think if I would have been, I kind of slowed down the process because I was having a psychotic break and I wasn't on top of giving all my information. But I don't know. I kind of think it might have worked. They probably wouldn't have given me jail time at the very least. Because what are they going to do? Pull me out of duty if I was? I mean, it's not active duty, so maybe. You
probably would have gotten. You would have had to get a waiver from the court to enlist automatically. Mm-hmm. But they could have offered you that because I know they still kind of do that with some people. You can maybe do time or just serve.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I know there is a waiver for that, but shortly after is when it went really south for me. So but that's my first story.
Okay. Not bad. I got questions later, obviously.
Yeah.
I have been to 31 different psych hospitals, and here's why. I know it sounds a little weird, but I've done literally a tour of psych hospitals. In Arizona, where I was, the way they had their hospitals set up for detox clinics was all of them were set up in a psych hospital or a mental health facility. They didn't have specific detox clinics. So every time I would get arrested or anything like that, and would end up having to go into a detox program, or even if I was just trying to detox for one reason or another, the only place I can go because I didn't have insurance was a mental health facility. So I ended up seeing the inside of a lot of different psych hospitals.
Okay. So you haven't been a resident at 30, or you haven't been a patient at 31.
I mean, I was housed with the mental patients, like we shared rooms. So I was absolutely a patient.
31 times or 31 different psych wards? You said 31 facilities?
31 facilities.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's 31 times, not facilities. So 31 times. In a total of facilities, like probably 10, 11, I'd comfortably say. 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm. See how the story changed there, everyone? We're on to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that was semi-believable, I suppose. I'm suspicious. I'll just say that. But I have questions afterwards.
Okay.
So my second story would be so obviously, you know, my mom suffers from schizoaffective disorder.
And she's your mom. Life has been hard.
Oh, that was pretty good. That was a good one. I give you props to that one.
Shout out to Mama Green.
Yeah, shout out to Mama Green on that one. So my mom suffers from schizoaffective disorder. I watched her struggle with her symptoms long before I struggled with my own. And I remember having the conversation with her when I was diagnosed. And I think I've posted a little bit about this, but I haven't gone in depth about it. But literally for about 2 years, my wife and my mom both knew that I was having symptoms, which I've talked about. They knew way before I did that I was having symptoms. I was delusional, hallucinating, and I didn't make any sense for about 2 years until I got out of jail. And then I finally went to go get help. And within 1 or 2 meetings with a psychiatrist who also knew my mom's situation, they gave me the diagnosis of undifferentiated schizophrenia. And so when I got diagnosed, the first thing I did was go to tell her. And her reaction was kind of surprising because she knew that I was having schizophrenia, but she said that if they ever tried to bring me in, she was going to get herself admitted. And her reasoning behind that was that that if I was going to go, she didn't want me to have to go by myself because she's been there. She knows how terrifying it is. And a couple weeks later, when it looked like I was going to have my first psychiatric stay, I didn't, but it looked like I was going to. She actually was getting ready to fake a schizophrenic episode to come to the psych ward with me. That's what my uncle lives with my mom, and that's what he told me. She was getting ready because she was waiting to see if I would go in. And so she was literally ready to go into the psych ward with me.
See, I know your mom, and like I know she loves you way more than you fucking deserve. But I know she loves you a lot. Okay. I got questions later for that one.
Yeah.
All right, my turn?
Yeah, that's you.
I am not allowed to use CVS pharmacy or Walmart pharmacy anymore because once upon a time I went to a therapist purely for the reason of getting a prescription for Xanax. And I went to a couple before I found one who actually would give me a prescription because doctors are pretty, on point about that. But he sent over, when he gave me the prescription, he sent over a thing to the pharmacy, the CVS pharmacy, and he also gave me a physical copy of the prescription.
Okay.
Well, my junky little brain saw that and saw the opportunity, and I just looked into like, how can I duplicate that? Like, can I actually turn this into another one? And the first time, I actually just took that physical receipt and I took it to a different pharmacy, and they just fucking filled it. I don't know if it was a mistake or what, but sooner or later, I was getting Xanax from like 5, 6, 7 different pharmacies all at once. And when they found out, I thought for sure I was going to catch a case.
Yeah.
I was positive I was going to catch a case, but they ended up not pressing the charges for one reason or another. I got banned from CVS and Walmart pharmacy. And I'm also, I'm sure like I'm flagged somehow, because like even now when I go to like doctors or hospitals, I feel like they can look that up on my record because they always assume like shadier shit about me. It could be that I also walk in with track mark scars and tattoos, but
yeah, that could be it. You just look shady. That's probably more what it is.
Now that I said that out loud, I'm like, that might just be the the look of me.
Okay. Is that your third or second? That's your third then, right?
I'm pretty sure that's my third.
Yeah. The thing bothering me about that is not catching a case for it. If that's not true, if that story is true, I have so many questions for why you didn't catch a case on that. But I'll have those questions for you later. All right.
Sure. You got one more, right?
Yeah, I got one more. So, I actually, you can tell me if okay, wait. Yeah. Let me think here. I was about to use this story, and then you say, if you could tell me if you've heard this one before, but then you would know it's true, and you just wouldn't say it.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, why would I do that?
Yeah. It's tough because like the past 2 years of my year and a half of my life has been putting all my mental health stories online. So coming up with new ones or remembering
you intended for this to be a handicap for you, but did not seem to work out that way.
Yeah, no. I definitely thought this was going to give me the upper hand, but now I'm really regretting my decision here.
Oh, Cody, why were you even thinking?
So actually, I do have one. So as you know, I've talked about this before, but my addiction primarily started because of my schizophrenia. I started using drugs as like a reason to justify the things I was seeing and hearing. So one of the issues I had with that was sometimes when I would do hallucinogenic drugs, I used to use acid as because acid was the best thing for me to be able to justify having hallucinations. You know, if I did acid, I would just for the next like couple hours or even like a day, I would trick myself into believing that the reason I was seeing and hearing things was because of the acid.
Just like the after effect of it or something.
Yeah, exactly. The problem with that is it would make my symptoms much worse afterwards. You know, it would give me insanely intense symptoms. So like my delusions and paranoia were incredibly intense after I did this. So even though I thought it was helping, it was actually hurting a lot. There was one particular scenario where I had used acid several days in a row so that I could justify me having hallucinations. But when I finally didn't have any more, I was hallucinating demons and angels. So I've only hallucinated an angel once. And this story you probably have heard, but it ties into all the rest of this. I hallucinated an angel shortly after this episode, and it was after several days of hallucinating demons that were basically telling me that I had to end everything. And so this angel hallucination that I had was the one that convinced me to stop using. And it was shortly after that I got my jail sentence, went in, and I got sober when I came out. Or I got sober when I went in, I guess. But
Okay, that's hard to pick that one apart because you've acknowledged
the angel part. So the angel part, you know, is true. I'm talking about the rest of it. So I actually went on a 3-day acid binge that led to several days of demons, which all of it led to me seeing this angel.
Right. And okay. So that's what
I've never talked about the before of that, which is why I'm like breaking it up like that. Because I don't like talking about my drug use a whole lot in depth on TikTok. So that's more the part that I'm putting in front of you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I got questions.
Yeah.
Your mom, when she said that she was going to fake schizophrenic symptoms and things like that, had she ever done anything like that before? Like,
you mean like to benefit her, or like to like go in?
just for any situation, like, I need to get out of this interview,
I don't think so. And the reason, so I'm just going based off of complete like guesswork here, because I don't know. She might have, but I don't think she ever has, because basically when she had her like psychotic break, she's been on disability. So she hasn't really needed to fake it. I don't think, like, she's home all the time. There's no.
Hey, Cody.
What?
Have you ever faked it?
We're talking about my mom's act.
Wait, Cody, wait. No, listen, Cody. You ever fake it?
I will say that I've never done it for views like people think I have. And that's as far as I'm going to answer that question. I will say that I've never faked it for views. And that's what everyone assumes, is that I've exaggerated or faked it for views. I will say I've never done that. I will not say anything more on that when it comes to like work or anything like that. We're just going to leave it at that.
All right. That's fair. That doesn't count as one of my questions, though.
No, you're good.
Okay. Your turn for a question?
Yeah, so the very last, or actually second story, how did you get away with no charges? Or was that the last story? How did you get away with no charges when it came to like the getting Xanax off the same prescription and over and over? Did they bring it to the police at all?
No, so I only did this technically through 2 refills of the prescription. So I didn't go on for a long time. So it was just the one fill and then the refill that was on it. It was a long time ago. I don't even know if they're even allowed to do this stuff anymore. But when they found out, they called me, and then they called my doctor. And my doctor just, said that, I don't know, one way or another, they just weren't going to take it to the police because he was kind of dealing with my addiction and things like that. I don't know. Maybe they're covering their asses. But that's kind of how that ended.
Yeah. Okay, Zach, I want to stop and just explain to you. My manager watches this show, and as soon as we said that just now, she messaged me and said, "So you faked it for work?" She just texted me. And to my manager, I was not talking about this job I currently have. I was actually talking about my past work in production and manufacturing. Just to put your mind at ease. But thank you for digging me into a fucking hole with that one,
Zach. Oh, have you considered being a better employee?
Have you considered trying to work a job and do social media at the same time? It's a tricky line to walk on, especially with our type of content. It's tricky.
For the record, to Cody's boss, at least this one, I know for a fact Cody has never faked his symptoms to get out of work. In fact, anytime he's had to go home from work, I have to deal with this bitch on the phone with me for like half an hour, 45 minutes, having his own little panic attack about how he's going to get fired. And they're only going to be so nice to me for so long.
I actually like the job I do right now. That's why. If it would have been production or manufacturing like I used to do, fire me. I don't care, but I like my job now, which is why I wanted to reassure my boss, who is currently watching. We were not talking about that. But moving on, back to the questions here.
Back to the 2 truths and
a lie. God. My turn for a question? No, I just asked. So it's
my turn for a question.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your first story? I wasn't listening.
Oh God. What was my first story? I don't even remember.
I'm working on it. Must not have been that entertaining.
Yeah, it must not have been. So my last one was.
Last one was the acid trip.
Yeah.
Second one was your mom.
The angel. The angel, then my mom, and then what was the first one? Oh, the National Guard. It was going into the National Guard.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So with the National Guard, what was your MOS going to be? What did you want to do?
So there's actually a National Guard base in the town I work in. So, and they have just a few things. So they have HVAC, which is like heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and they have small arms repair, which is like working on smaller guns, I guess. And
Sounds
so I think that's what small arms repair was. I didn't get very far in the process, but they really only had like a few decisions. Those were the two that were open. I didn't want to do heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, so I was going to go with the small arms repair.
Kind of sounds like a badass job, but definitely not the guy who's suffering from active schizophrenic attacks.
Yeah.
Not the job for him.
Looking back, definitely wouldn't have been a good idea. And honestly, looking back, even HVAC would have been way more useful once I got out of the military. So that's the way I should have been looking at it. But
well, I mean, granted, you shouldn't have been looking at it at all, but yeah.
But when a hallucination tells you it's the best idea, you just go with it, you know?
That's fair. Figure that. They sound like they know what they're doing.
All right. And what was your first story again?
My first story, darling, what was my first story? That's bad if none of us listen to ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's see. So my last one was about the Xanax. The second one was the amount of psych hospitals I've been to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the PCP. Yeah. When I was on PCP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question with the PCP one was, when you went in, it's pretty rare for you to go in on drugs and be held more than 24 hours, right? Like you know that, right?
I had already gotten the 5150. I'd just gotten, like said, I was a danger to myself.
Okay, gotcha. So, and that third day, so that explains the 72 hours then. So the third day they claimed you assaulted someone, or?
This is basically what it came down to. Somebody, like, I was having a moment. I was having like an anxiety attack kind of thing. I was also coming off some drugs. So
Okay.
there was a bunch of things going on with me. This nurse came over, or probably not a nurse, but like a tech came over and put their hand on me, and I kind of freaked out and I like pushed them away from me. And basically the doctor said like, hey, we could charge you with assault for what you did. If you submit to being here for like 2 months, then we're not going to press these charges. But if you try to leave, then we're going to press these charges. So
I've heard a similar story like that too, and I didn't think psych wards did stuff like that, but I've actually heard a similar story from someone that I actually trust. So
they definitely do stuff like that because they did it for me.
Okay. All right, some of that adds up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, hit me with another one if you got another question.
Another question here. Okay. Actually, to be honest with you, I know which one I'm going for.
Really?
Oh yeah. You sir, are not good at this. Like
Okay.
that's a reality.
We'll see.
I know I sound like your wife right now, but you sir are not good at this.
God, just zingers today, man. All right. So I have a few more because some of your stories don't add up here. When it comes to how many psych wards you've been in, you said it's 10, but you're guesstimating like 31 times, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I actually know it was 31 times that I've been to a mental hospital, but not that many facilities. I don't know the exact number of facilities.
How many states is that all in one state, or?
That's all Arizona, actually.
All Arizona. Okay. Did any of them have ping pong tables?
Yeah, psych ward? Not that I've been to, no.
So, okay, off topic. Do you know in movies and TV shows how they always have ping pong tables in psych wards?
Right? And every time I see that, I'm like, those are weapons. They would not have those chilling just out in the open.
It was really frustrating for me the first time I went in and there wasn't a fucking ping pong table like advertised. I was like, this is bullshit false advertising.
I have been lied to. This brochure was a sham.
This was the only thing I was looking forward to. But anyways, getting back to it. Okay, so that lines up. I thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, a couple. I would have been like, bullshit, you liar. All right, and then
that's a decent check. Like that's like a mental health G check.
Yeah, that's like you have to know your shit to be able to pull that off. You know?
That is a good check. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. I think that's also my last one.
Okay.
But we're gonna need a pen and paper, and for once, I actually did not come prepared. So, do you actually have a pen and paper in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God! Oh, I'm the new Zach.
It's a new age, sir. You've really changed since you hit 1 million. You just got happy. So remind me again. We write down the one that we know is a lie, right?
Yep. You're going to write down the one you think is a lie.
Right. The one I know is a lie.
The one you think is a lie.
The one that I know is a lie. Mm-hmm.
Or wait, no, we were supposed to write down the ones that were lies for us, remember?
Oh, so we write down the lie. What we lied about.
Wait, how did we do this last time?
Yeah, okay, so we write down the lie.
Yeah. And then we say it when we go to show them, okay, or right before. Okay, I'm ready. My pen ran out of ink, but I got it mostly written.
Nice. I am too.
All right, so do you want me to guess first or you?
You go ahead and guess first.
My guess is the 31 stays. Damn, I should have known because you didn't catch a I always doubt myself. Fuck.
How would I not catch a case for that, dog? That's straight. That's fraud. That's medical fraud. That's a whole bunch of charges.
Fuck. All right.
I'd be sweating it out for a minute. If
I know, and I doubted myself. I don't know why I always doubt
because you're
myself.
bad at this. That's why. We just.
All right. Well, this is about to be a two-way loss because you're not going to get mine.
Okay. You lied about the acid trip thing with the angel.
I lied about mom. So
what?
So mom has said that before, but she never almost went in. She never faked her symptoms.
That's why I knew that part was the truth.
Yeah, boy.
Bitch.
The acid trip one actually is true, and it was the last time I did acid. So
fuck.
So that means both of us lose.
I don't want to play anymore.
You know what? If I'm going to lose, I'm just fucking glad I'm bringing you down with me. At least I can get that. Ooh. Get ready for your sign. It's going to be perfect.
All right, a modification. I know you live out in bumfuck Egypt. I have to choose the intersection because I feel like where you live, I've been to your house. There's one street light.
I was gonna go up to La Crosse, the place where I picked you up at the airport. I feel like that's fair. It's not super busy, but I'll pick a busy intersection in downtown La Crosse.
That's fair. I'll give you that. All right, I like that.
All right. So we'll go through all the details of this behind, and then we'll make a video about it. I think would be the best way to go about this. But I'm just so glad you also lost. That makes me so happy inside. It makes me less happy that I also lost.
I feel very cheated because that was bullshit. You have the majority. You had this tiny insignificant part of
it wasn't insignificant. Her faking her symptoms to go in.
You realize that your defense is she talked about it. She didn't plan on it. Unbelievable. Whatever. We'll do it.
The end of that story was she was getting ready to go into the psych ward with me, which never happened.
Can you believe this bitch? Unbelievable.
Well,
all right,
I will say you fucking got me with the Xanax story because
I just don't know how you possibly skipped over that. There's no way
you're not doing it.
There's no way you're not doing time if you do that.
It's the same as last time, though, because I doubted myself at the last fucking second. I knew exactly which one it was, and I doubted myself.
The story out here, kids, is if you're as bad as Cody is at things, don't play games. Also, believe in yourself. Side note.
Oh, that was actually a really nice, little ending there. I'm surprised.
That's what I do. You want to open the floor up to some questions from the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So because we have a little time left over and we don't get to do this enough and we want to show how much we appreciate you guys, we're going to do some Q&A. So we have about 8 minutes. If anyone has, I said 8 really loud, didn't I just now?
You did. That was surprising. I did not do that.
Sorry about that. So for about the next 8 minutes, if anyone has any questions for me or Zach or both of us or neither of us or just for my hallucinations, go ahead and throw them in the comments. Do you like that? I thought that was pretty good.
That was not bad. You spend all night working on that?
Pretty much, yeah. I literally last week I had that written down.
That's fair.
So the only question so far is, Cody, do you watch anime? And the answer is no. And it's not because I don't like anime. I've just never given it a fair chance. So.
What was that, like defending yourself from all the weebs out there? Is that
A
what that
little
was?
bit, yeah. Do you watch anime? I feel like you're a weeb a little
Oh,
bit.
I'm a total bro. Are you kidding me? I'm such a weeb. My favorite anime is Cowboy Bebop. My first anime was Neon Genesis. But I mean, I love most anime. Right now I'm watching Wonder Egg Priority. Love that. Ouran Host Club. Love that one. Black Butler. Getting into that. Just finished it. Well, we're finishing up Attack on Titan. But basically, yeah, I'm a weeb, to say that short.
All right, very nice. I'm guessing Eddie is also a weeb, correct?
Eddie's coming over to the weeb side. You know,
Okay. So you're having to persuade Eddie to be a weeb. Okay.
Yeah, mostly with snacks. Like I'll make him snacks and I'll put on, put anime on.
That's a good way to do it. That's how I get Allison to watch Criminal Minds with me too. So
it works.
The next question is, how did you two meet? Zach, you want to take this one?
So Cody was a Make-A-Wish kid.
Shut up.
I have to tell the people. And his wish was to meet his hero, which me, obviously. So it's actually kind of funny how we met, because I think both of us were vaguely familiar with our content, but our spouses kind of followed each other before we did.
Yeah. And
one of my followers randomly in a comment was like, "Hey, you should do a podcast with Cody Green." And I'm like, "Oh, I kind of know of Cody Green." And then I think it was Cody who said beneath it, "I'm game."
Yeah.
And basically, we just talked to each other. We did that fundraiser for your nonprofit shortly after that, and just started working together and became friends since. It's a total random happenstance, really. But
yeah. And I think we both got tagged in each other's videos a couple times. So I think we knew of each other, but we weren't on super talking terms until, like you said, someone tagged me in that video saying, do a podcast. And then we just kind of took off with this. So,
well, not only that, but I had people always asking me, "Oh, is Cody Green Shaggy? Is Cody Green Shaggy?"
Yeah,
I still had people that ask me that, but not as frequent.
Yeah, well, I feel like we've addressed it enough times that people should be aware, but yeah, I still get that on my page too.
That's fair.
Someone said, "Are you planning another meetup?" So, we did have a meetup. Eventually we're going to do another one. I'm guessing the next time I will see Zach and Eddie in person is the wedding. I'm just guessing that. But maybe we'll plan something sooner. I guess it just depends on our schedules. I did, get basically a promotion at my new job, so I'm kind of doing that right now, but.
And you are what now, like the head stripper down at the club, or what's up?
No, backup. Sorry, I haven't got that top spot yet.
Always the backup, never the bridesmaid. I don't know.
Yeah, you messed that one up.
I did. I butchered that. I'm sorry.
So someone asked if Zach was one of my hallucinations that I brought to life. He's almost too extra to be a hallucination. My hallucinations kind of just are there. They don't try to make themselves super obvious. Zach wouldn't cut it as a hallucination.
What are you talking about? I'm so incognito.
You're literally the opposite of chill or incognito.
People barely know I'm here.
You are the neon sign of human beings.
I'll take that. What's a question you get on your page about me all the time? Because I get questions about you all the time.
People always asked if we served together, but I think that's just the same. It's the Shaggy question, I think,
right.
Because people always ask where we met, and so I think people assume we met in jail or in incarceration, but we were incarcerated in different states.
States.
Literally, probably haven't been within 1,000 miles of each other until our meetup. So
yeah.
We did have another on question, or another on
question.
Yeah. Someone said, when will this become a daily podcast? Well, as soon as me and Zach are able to do content creation full time, we'll do it. Hell, if I had enough money to pay my mortgage and be able to do everything I need to do, I'd do it right now.
Speaking of which, why don't you plug your fundraiser that you're doing right now?
Absolutely. So I don't have a GoFundMe or anything, but basically to celebrate hitting 1 million, me and a tattoo artist on TikTok are planning a meetup. His name is Coasty Jones. Coasty, if you're listening or watching, shout out to you. to you. You're awesome. I love Coasty. If you haven't seen him, super funny TikTok tattoo artist. He roasts people's tattoos. And a couple months ago, yeah, he did roast you. That was pretty good too.
He was good.
But a couple months ago, I made a video saying, "Hey, I want a TikTok tattoo," I have a TikTok tattoo. I want a schizophrenia tattoo. And he duetted it, and he's like, I want this. He said, I want to do something for your schizophrenia. It can be fun. It can be funny. It can be unique. It can be different. And so to celebrate 1 million, I'm going to go to Idaho and get that tattoo from Coasty. So if you want to donate to my Venmo or PayPal, my Venmo is schizohippie. My PayPal is schizophrenichippie@gmail.com. The trip for both me and my wife to go out there is going to be roughly $1,000. That's not including the price. That's hotel, travel, and then rental car. I'm covering the price of the tattoo myself, obviously, and his tip and all that. But if you want to help with the trip costs, consider donating to my Venmo or PayPal. But that's all I have. Did you have anything else for the people?
Make sure you brush, buckle your seatbelts, stay woke, sheeple.
Stay woke, sheeple. Everyone have a good day.